Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Taurus. So, Taurus, as usual, I'm doing a reading with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you see are from this deck. So, Taurus, the message today for you is an invitation or like a guidance for you to use your intelligence to adapt a tool, which seems to be like this psychic tool, this intuitive tool, but also like in a very sharp way, in a very smart way, so that you can create a path, like create a communication with somebody that you want to talk to. But if you were to use simply words, it wouldn't be as effective. And so you have to find other ways to optimize this tool that you have, right? So this is using your intelligence, but like this spiritual intelligence, this psychic intelligence, this intuitive ability to communicate something to another person, which, by the way, feels like somebody that you are already in tune, like in the same frequency, or it's like you're already in this very potent non-verbal communication, which just strengthens the relationship, the connection, but also strengthens both of you individually. But it seems like you are the one who knows that, knows the value, the power of that. It's just a matter of fine-tuning, right? So you're carrying already a tool that is quite effective, that is very powerful in itself, being this judgment card, which I often talk about it as a tool, right? Used with discernment, used with wisdom, used with common sense, used with truth, and this inner values that you have, and with intelligence, because you're coming up here as the Queen of Swords. It seems like you have the power to use it well, use it to conquer this goal, which is to enter in a very deep psychic communication with another, perhaps even telepathic communication. But the thing about this judgment, Taurus, is that the way that I was seeing this tool being used before I saw the Queen of Swords was in a very rudimentary way, in a very primary way, in a very sloppy way, to be honest, right? It's like, because what I was seeing was like somebody trying to make a very beautiful and delicate sculpture, right? Like a marble sculpture, but breaking the rock, because it is a powerful tool. So it's like you have to like dose the power or the intensity that you use it, right? It's like it really doesn't matter like the size of the tool, is like how you use the tool that you have to conquer the goals that you're setting yourself off to do, right? To accomplish. And so I feel like what that is, like this fine tuning that seems to be what you're using with your intelligence here, is to bring this sharp edge of the sword and place it in front of this hammer, so that instead of breaking the entire rock or breaking this relationship, for instance, right, as an example, because this seems to be the critical situation that you're trying to adapt this tool to use it, right, with this person. So you have to be sharper, you have to be straight to the point, you have to be super focused, right? Because that's how you're going to kind of like lapidate the rock instead of breaking the rock, right? And there's also something else coming from the judgment that was talking about unlocking something. Sometimes I see this as like a lid to a bottle. And so it feels like the reason why you're trying to use this tool, maybe at first with all of your strength, with all of your intensity, with all of your knowledge, with all of your primary instincts, right? Instead of your reasonable common sense or discernment. It's like, it's because your intention is to remove the cap out of something that might not be allowing you to reach to this person, So the King of Swords here. So to me, it's like it's very evident, you know, being the Queen and the King of Swords, that both of you are already very connected. It's like if you were, you know, in a specific radio frequency, it's like you're already attuned to the same radio station, right? It's like you are already in the same wavelength. So you already come in a like individually prepared to connect with one another. You see what I mean? But because of this lid, because of, you know, maybe lack of discernment or, you know, self-judgment and all of that, right? Everything that it entails, which could be, you know, very dense or very low vibration. It's like you're trying to use your force to break that, right? To reach them or to communicate with them. And I feel like that definitely is not the way to go. So how do you get a tool that you already know the power of it and you fine tune it to the point that you're using your intelligence? And by the way, the Swords card to me in this case today, they are coming as like spiritually attuned, spiritually connected. So it's almost like both of you are, you know, in a very high frequency vibration. Therefore, your spirits are already in connection, right? That's the reason why maybe you don't have to use words, but the way to really get to their core so that they pick it up, you know, as focused as it is coming, is to use your smart, like your how do I say this? It's like how do you adapt something that you know the power of, not to simply use the intensity, like full-blown intensity of it, but rather like choose to use it like slowly, slightly like decrease the power so that you're more precise, right? I hope that makes sense. It's just a metaphor, but like how can you be more precise with this tool, this psychic tool that you have to reach them? Because I feel like the aftermath of this is that you want them to connect with you. It's like maybe you want to reestablish this psychic connection, right? Because both of you have this potential. But there's something that this King of Swords needs, that is, maybe they're feeling like they lack something, right? Because maybe they are striving. What is that word? Striving for the Emperor position. I don't know exactly what that means, but it's like maybe they want to reach like a certain level, otherwise they won't feel successful or accomplished or something like that. So how do you reach to a person that is already very like elevated, very developed, very intelligent, very accomplished, but they're not feeling or they cannot see that they are already, you know, a king, right? But it's like maybe it's not enough for them. They need to see themselves as the emperor. Maybe they do have, you know, to be recognized or acknowledged as the emperor instead of just the king. But you being the queen, it's like you pick up on that very easily. The thing is, how do you tell them this without telling them this directly? Otherwise, they are going to be offended, or they're going to be, you know, the know-it-all that it's like, oh no, it's nothing like that, right? They're going to try to deny what you're saying. The way to go, Taurus, is to sharpen your knife in a sense, right? Sharpen your tool. Be very focused, be very objective towards your goal, which seems to be connecting in this more ethereal realm, in order to make them see that they are already this emperor. They don't have to prove themselves to you, perhaps, that they are already, you know, in a very advanced level of success or self-realizations and accomplishments and all of that. So the other thing that I was seeing with this emperor was talking about like closing the circuit, and I don't know exactly what that means, Because I typically see the crown of the emperor as a very organic crown, which symbolizes to me that reaching this position of the emperor shouldn't be like a strive. Is that the right word? Maybe that's why I was talking about like striving for the emperor position. It's like it shouldn't be like a hard thing, or a struggle, or whatever they think they should be doing to be here, right? It should feel organic, right? It's like the effort should feel like it's just natural, right? It's a natural growth and a natural expansion or evolution. So, and maybe we're just talking about like spirituality, right? Maybe we're not talking about finances or money, even though the King of Pentacles is here. So maybe there is some of it here as well, right? But this has another thing about this, closing this circuit, because it's almost like you're going to get to this spiritual point, but through the practical things. And this is, Taurus is already an earth sign. So it's like you are already, in this territory that you rule, that you dominate, that you know very well, right? This earthly realm, which they might not feel as accomplished in this realm as you, perhaps. So, that really depletes the way that they see themselves spiritually, right? Because at the same time, maybe they're not aware that you have such a powerful tool, but you being smart enough to use that tool that you have to reach to them in this level, in this psychic level, this is how you show them organically, like closing this circuit in a sense that is going to, like, starting off with something that is simple, that is it's almost like pointing to them something that they did accomplish, right? It's like showing them, but look, you are already a king of the, whatever, right? The physical realm, right? You have already achieved a lot of success in your professional life, in your career, in your health, in your bank account, in whatever, right? So tangible. It's like they need to see proof. They need to, they need data, right? They need information that is quantifiable, that is measurable. That's what is going to give them, allow them to see their own value, which you seem to already know. The thing about you, Taurus, and this is the guidance, it's like you have to fine tune, adapt your tool, which is already very powerful. But the more you, not intentionally, right? It's unintentional that you're using this force to blast them with your psychic power, with your telepathic power, but that's actually having the reversed intention, the reversed what is the word, like effect, right? So that's not what you want. It's like fine tune that, like go like with precision, go with delicacy, and be extremely focused, because this is how you're going to make them see they are already very accomplished, like closing this circuit that may feel like they are lacking something. It's almost like you're going to point them that they already have a lot of success, that they have already, maybe financial security and, a portfolio of clients and, projects and stuff that they have done in their life, that it's like closing the circuit that puts them in this position of maybe not trusting themselves, not recognizing their values, not recognizing their accomplishment, right? So this is the circuit, the organic circuit, but it's also like the how you slowly are going to give them what they need without telling them exactly what you know to be true about the situation, right? It's like you have to be very smart, like give them what they need in the amount that they need and that they can take it. So start by practical things, like practical achievement, right? So if it's something about like, I don't know, just health goals, right? It's like point that out. It's like compliment them. Compliment in a way that they can see, that they can look in the mirror and say, oh yeah, that's actually true. I actually believe in that. That is not, lacking. It's actually, I have enough, I am enough, I can see the value in what I have accomplished, right? So be precise, Taurus. So these other two cards here, they almost feel like a separate reading overall. I couldn't really figure out this Knight of Cups because they're coming after this King of Pentacles. But what I was sensing from it is that they slowly, well, maybe this has to do with, breaking this mold or breaking this barrier, like, not with force, but with precision and intelligence, right? This psychic intelligence. Because I feel like the way that I was seeing, from the King of Pentacles to the Knight of Cups to the Sun, they are going to feel good about not being maybe, in their mind, right? This is just a way with words that I'm trying to find to translate this one as I'm seeing, but it's not actually true, right? But maybe here, perhaps, knowing that you are very powerful, Taurus, they see themselves as trying to prove to you that they are equivalent, that they are in the same wavelength, right? That they are in the same degree of development and success that you have achieved. So maybe they do feel like they have to, prove something to you, accomplishing more, right? But that just highlights the fact that they are not feeling in that place, right? That they feel like they lack something. When they achieve this sense of, well, first of all, really valuing themselves and seeing that they did accomplish a lot of things, that they are the King of Pentacles after all, it's like they start to smooth and just, ease. It's like they enter this state of vulnerability, right? It's like, when you win over a dog that is coming after you, right? And you are not scared of them. It's like you're actually friendly, but you know that there's something wrong with that reaction. So it's like you want to break the ice. Maybe it's something like that, right? You want to break the ice, or, the defense mechanism that they had put in place, like this. Okay, so this kind of like this psychic barrier, right? Maybe this is what you're trying to break, this psychic barrier between you and them, because like this was like a self-protection mechanism, like unconsciously, because they couldn't see themselves as good enough for you. So the moment that they like feel at ease, like they see themselves as vulnerable enough, it's like they start enjoying it, right? The Sun is just talking about enjoyment. But because the Sun is right below the Emperor, and the Emperor was talking about closing the circuit, what the Sun is talking about, it's like just give them time. It's like use your own strategy, use this tool with this sharp edge, meaning like fine tune your own psychic tool, so that in this organic growth, in this organic spiritual development, that maybe they have to see themselves and believe that they are already developed as you, it's like that's when it's like they're going to start enjoying it. And it's almost like, because the Sun talks about illumination, it's almost like maybe for them, becoming enlightened, let's say, was a struggle, was something that really messed up with their ideas or their beliefs, maybe removed maybe this ability to make decisions, like conscious decisions. So that's the reason why they were always thinking that they needed more, right? Because they didn't feel like they were enough. Because it's almost like for you have already a very powerful tool, right? It's like, so it's like your power, your spiritual power. For them, maybe they have been through this enlightenment process, this awakening phase, or just spiritual awakening overall. And for them, it wasn't enjoyable, it wasn't fun, it wasn't a happy moment, right? It was a moment of maybe questioning their accomplishments, questioning their beliefs, not seeing themselves as closing this circuit as you are trying to do, like indirectly, not directly, not facing them and, you know, saying everything that you think, right? It's very indirect and very like, it's like in small doses, right? But all of them are based on pointing all of the things that they did accomplish. So small compliments, but things that they can see, that they can touch, that they, it's like it's visible to them, because that's the way that you win them over, that you put them in a more vulnerable position, like in a more, because what this is talking about, now that I'm holding it, and you know, all of this about closing the circuit and allowing time so that they can enjoy the experience of having this communication established with you in this psychic level, is to accept, like acceptance, right? But it comes from like the heart. So you both having, you know, the sword suit, it's like maybe you are two very great intellectuals, right? Like individually, like you have, or maybe spiritually, right? It's not maybe on the mind, but with the mind, the word mind also means so many different things depending on the context. Sometimes the mind can be like the ego, right? The mind of, you know, a human, but also sometimes the mind, as I see the swords as like this spiritual force, it's like the mind of God, right? Connecting to oneness. Maybe this is what it's talking about, like the circuit, right? Closing the circuit. It's like seeing value in this like organic growth that allows one to connect with oneness, right? This power of oneness. So that needs to be fun, that needs to be joyous, that needs to be like a delight, so that they don't get in this, you know, doubting process of not, of blocking you, right? So you're breaking this block, this psychic block, but use this tool that you have, which is already powerful, with discernment and with this sharpness, right? This intelligence, this wisdom that you have, and go slowly to where you want to get, right? Complimenting them, like pointing everything that they did that, you know, proves to them that they are valuable, that they are incredibly successful, and that this can be, you know, a fun ride, that this is closing a circuit that proves that they are the emperor, right? So it's going to be fun to see themselves as incredibly valuable as and accomplished as the emperor. So, Taurus, that was a lot. I am going to pull more cards for you, as well as the astrological runes in the extended reading. So if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. You can find the link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.